everybody! Welcome. It is Tuesday night. It is time for a little Dungeons and Dragons here in the Indigo Playroom. Are you guys ready for some gaming?
See?
Woo! We're not starting yet. We got some announcements. Coming up next on Indigo Chameleon, Thursday night is going to be, I don't know any other way to describe this than we're going to have some drinks and get our makeups did. A few of us here at Indigo, I believe, our very own Magnoth and myself possibly are getting some makeovers. So we're gonna get our makeup did for a very unique edition of Creative Chaos. So please tune in for that. It's gonna be great. Friday night, there's gonna be something happening here on the channel. You're gonna want to tune in and find out. It's gonna be amazing.
We have to talk.
They have to talk.
We're thinking.
They're thinking they could get married on stream. I'm saying that this is a possibility.
He's shirtless, dreamy plant man.
Shirtless, dreamy plant man, new band name, call it. So tune in for that. On Sunday, I believe it is a Indigo and Scribe sort of hangout, chill game night. But
it was so chill.
So chill.
So after this week,
so chill. You guys are going on street napping.
So obscenely chill that we may not even be there. It may just be me sitting in the dark for a few minutes.
And we've done that stream already, so.
And we had 13 viewers. So.
Occasional slurps of whiskey.
And then Tuesday night, come back and join us for another episode of Wonder. But we got some fun things coming down the pipeline. We've got another episode of Mother Effing Crab Truckers, Trucking Through Time. That we did the first episode, and it went over like gangbusters. Neverland is coming along extremely well, and you will get a tease of that coming up very, very soon. I will say that there's an episode of one of the shows coming up that is a direct tease to Neverland, but I'm not telling the cast when it is. So, on an upcoming episode of a show on Indigo, it is a direct teaser, but the cast won't know what it is. So, yeah. So stay tuned for that. I think that's all the announcements. Let's get right into... we've got 3 episodes of the podcast, which have been uploaded that you can find on the Indigo Chameleon podcast. Woo, woo, woo! This was back when in our infant chameleon days, where the sound quality is not so great. Especially episode 2, so I'm going to apologize in advance. But you get to hear these fine people like discover their characters and do crazy stuff, like us walking through the forest and Thoe immediately meeting Grimm and then hating each other. So like,
there was a fight.
There was a fight, and we were in the room when it happened. So
honestly, for creating the most pacifist character ever, who like pretty much hasn't fought anybody else except
you fight
him.
me. That's
hasn't fought anybody else except.
Should we tell them who we discovered that Thoe was? Thoe is Britta from Community.
Oh my god.
And the minute I realized it, I was like, oh my god, Thoe is Britta. Britta's the worst.
You Britted it.
Totally did.
We gotta save the trees. So yeah, stay tuned for that and give us a like, give us a review. And it would really help us out a lot. But you can find us on Apple Podcast and on that little app. So 3 episodes in, and we'll keep releasing more as time goes by. We've got a brand new server. Ooh. We got brand new cameras. And we do that because of viewers like you that have donated some money to us to help us get stuff like this done. The server's name is Godzilla. King of the Lizards.
We'll take pictures and put her, him, I don't know, on the Discord. Because like it lights up and has pretty colors and it's gorgeous.
All right. When last we left our heroes, not a lot happened. It was a super chill, fun, amazing time. But they did...
I'd like to roll insight.
But they did get to spend time with the Queen of Hearts and learn about the sort of matriarch of this sort of section of Wonder. Some of them were pleasantly surprised at how she treated them. Others were trepidatious. A few were so mad at Red Jack that they really didn't have any eyes for anyone but Red Jack. Red Jack antagonized the group. We also found out that he gets a little hairy. So if you want to learn more about that, please, you can find all our videos on YouTube. However, we are going to pick up right where that episode left off. In fact, a couple of seconds, even minutes during that episode, while the majority of the group ran and started investigating an arrow that was fired off in the tree, and we talked about that at the end of the episode. There are 2 party members that stayed behind and had a bit of a conversation. So I want to take you now to that conversation. Go ahead, guys.
Well, that was dumb of them to run off now, wasn't it?
That's true. But where did send Charlotte they'll be safe?
Yeah. I have a question for you. I've been wondering since you got here. When you first met everyone, you asked a very specific question. You asked everyone to give you their name.
Right. That's
Yes, but you phrased it by saying give their name, as in something they are giving up to you.
that's not how. So where I'm from, we don't really have names. They're not important. We can pretty much just be near each other, know who we are. So when I left, there's a lot of things I wasn't sure of. Nancy had to help me figure out how to communicate to people, how to talk to people. And one of the things that I was told was that you tell people your name by saying, my name is, or you can call me. And you ask for people's names by asking them for their names. Is that not how it's done?
I mean, it's not like it's the wrong way to do it. It's just by phrasing it that way, it could mean that they are actually giving you. Names have power, and by giving it in that phrasing could mean something more than just telling someone. If you're just asking people their names and that's all there's to it, there's no reason.
That's how I was told to ask.
Okay, that's just.
Is that wrong?
No, it's
Have I
fine.
done something wrong?
No, it's just it concerned me. We had a lot of people kind of wrong us after we trusted them, and so I just wanted to make sure that there was nothing to worry about there. Can I insight all of?
Absolutely, you can insight whatever you want. Yeah. So go ahead and.
Insight's not great.
He's being forthright with you about the names and things of that sort. So.
I would suggest maybe phrasing it a different way, just so no one else kind of gets that idea.
Right.
Because if that's really your intent, then there's no harm in phrasing it a different way, and then no one will be suspicious of ulterior motives that you don't have.
Alright. I'll work on that.
Thank you.
All right, you guys head back after that sort of expedition. We head back to the house that evening. I think we established that in the previous episode. Does everyone rest for the evening, or are there any other conversations that happened that night back at the house?
I was shot with a bolt. I'm probably gonna go rest now.
Yeah.
Where is Day in the house?
Give me, before you do that,
Yeah.
give me an investigation check as you spend a little bit of time at night going over the journal.
Okay. Investigation.
Yes.
16.
Okay, I can either say this out loud or PM you the sort of information that you glean from the journal.
PM me, and then I will choose to share.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Where is Day in the house?
After having come back,
Mm-hmm.
she right now is probably doing something. She's probably just lounging about the house, like maybe
Okay.
strumming her ukulele or something.
Okay.
Probably on the couch.
Okay. So Mandrake is going to go to his room first. He's gonna drop off the hat.
Okay.
He's gonna drop off the bag. He's gonna drop off his daggers and his jacket.
Okay.
And he's going to approach Day. May I?
May you what?
Have a moment of your time.
She'll put her instrument down and like switch her position to just like paying attention.
At dinner. There was a moment where you had a bit of an outburst. Ruckus laughter.
That, yes.
May I ask what that was?
That, my dear, was a combination of fear, annoyance, tiny bit of resentment, but a lot of feeling of being unheard. You see, I'm trying to tell you guys what you need to know. I'm trying to give you the information you're craving, but it's like every time I do, it's just pushed aside. And you act on impulse. You and Grim, you don't understand. He's not. As a person, he has no weakness. But as an intelligence, what is it your gnome says? The blind one.
If you're not stronger, and you're not faster, and you're not more powerful, you have to be smarter.
There it is. You have to outthink him, or he will kill and hurt everything and everyone you love. I have outsmarted him a few times, and I have made him a great enemy. As I suppose so has he for me. But one can only assume, because one needs to assume those things when you're dealing with Red Jack.
That's fair. I just wanted to make sure that we are on the same side now. War is coming. And we have to choose if we're going to fight one another or them. My actions in the past may not have been the most thought out, but I apologize for that. I didn't know your past. I didn't know your pain. I knew your power. And that I prepared for. Now we have to work together. And I will try to do better.
We've always been on the same side. You just need to understand that sometimes when people are right next to you, you have to listen a little harder because they're standing behind you, making sure you're okay.
And you have to understand that it's hard to change a lifetime of learning in a few weeks.
I do.
Okay then.
It's a restful evening after the events of the previous night. For some of you, for others of you, you are kept awake. I think there are certain individuals at the house that want to know exactly what happened and still don't believe everything that happened. Especially the person waiting for you back when you get to your room. Who's, oh my god! 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 What did you do? Did you eat food? Did you? What was it? What was she like? Was she like huge? I heard she's like 8 feet.
She's oddly normal seeming.
Oddly normal?
Like, not what I expected normal. Just actually is, but she kind of seemed to approach us as kind of a normal person.
Did she breathe fire?
She didn't really do anything
Not once.
incredible other than putting your finger back on, which,
That was pretty cool.
thank God.
Flit is hurt and doesn't really leave the room and sleeps the majority of the time that he's in the house and stuff like that and sort of recovering. He's malnourished. He's beat to hell, but he's starting to recover. You guys wake up the next morning. I need everybody, but after your dinner, you guys go home and you sleep and you rest. I need everybody but Nyx to roll a D4 for me.
That's what I was missing.
2, 2, 2, 3, 2. This is a permanent hit to your health points.
What?
You will manually go in and do that. That is everybody but Nyx. You wake up and it's like one of those, like you just kind of had a rough night. You don't know what it was. You're a little beat up. You're a little beat to hell. You don't know if it's you didn't sleep or not, but logistically, everybody's taking a hit to their permanent health.
2. Like whatever we roll.
Whatever you rolled,
Okay.
you are -2 when it comes to health points.
For the game or for the foreseeable future?
For the fourth perceivable future.
Sure. Damn.
So it's translated into a little under the weather. You don't know if it's just things you didn't sleep well or not.
Okay.
We'll talk about it what happens the next day.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay.
So you guys all wake up. The day is yours to do with which you please.
Okay.
Bandy is up early. She runs into everybody's room and just sort of like gives hugs where allowed, and even more hugs when it's not allowed. She like smacks you in the face as hard as she can,
That makes sense.
and then runs out the door. And you see like Day like hands her like a little like candy or a piece of candy. She's like, I get to do it tomorrow, and like runs out of the room. And the
Chocolate pops in my head. Okay.
yeah, you see a shadow sort of like runs like behind her and like trips over himself again.
Aw,
and, like,
little big
that
wings.
little like he can hover a couple of inches now, but then he gets real tired and just sort of smacks his head and like he's at that age too where like the little dragon head is a little bit bigger than the rest of his body. So sometimes when he gets really tired, like the head just droops forward a little bit and like he just falls. But anytime he falls or gets tired, Bandy just kind of runs over and picks him up and they go running down the hallway. So, but the house is a light. Mother has made a lovely breakfast for everybody in the kitchen downstairs, and there's fresh coffee and food. The weird thing is you don't remember buying groceries for the house, but there seems to be a plethora set out on the table for you.
I'm going after breakfast and coffee.
Yeah, it's a good, decent spread. It's like one of those like, all right, you got your big test, you got your big like, standardized test. Like you better go eat a big breakfast. So yeah.
Give mom a kiss on the cheek. Thank you so much.
She affectionately like grabs your cheek and does the little like pinch and Mijo.
I grab tea and a English muffin
Yeah.
and sit on the counter.
She put some fruit on the plate with the English muffin.
Gotta get all your minerals, buddy.
I just take the plate.
She smiles, knowing that you were just going to take the plate. Yeah, but breakfast is sort of laid out in front of you, and then the day is yours to do with it as you see fit.
While I'm in the kitchen, Mother.
Yes, dear.
I was wondering, do you have access to any alchemic recipes, perhaps involving mint blood?
Have you checked the library, dear?
I haven't.
It sounds like if you want help, you should help yourself.
That's fair, but Nyx has kind of claimed that area, it seems.
Darling, he didn't pee in the room. You can still use the library, you just have to ask nicely.
That was very rude, and I'm right here, but I still love you. A lot?
Okay, so I'll take my breakfast.
Candy goes.
I'll take my breakfast and go knock on the library door.
Nyx, are you upstairs or are you still in the room?
I'm still in my room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Library's not gonna be locked.
Okay.
I don't.
You knock on the library door and the door kind of swings open a little bit, and Nyx is nowhere in there.
Okay. So I go to the box on the table.
Cool.
Place my hand on the box and ask for recipes containing mimic blood.
There was a shaking and a little like tiny book sort of appears in the chest in front of you, and on it is one of those archetypical pictures of a like treasure chest with a gaping mouth and stuff like that, yeah, it's a book sitting in the chest.
Okay. I don't trust this.
Can I hear him since he's above me?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to examine said book.
No one's found this out yet.
I just did.
I told you.
I would like to
No.
examine said book.
Sure. What languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Gnomish, Primordial, and Sylvan.
Okay, it's not written in any of those.
Great.
Did I notice him heading out towards the library?
Yeah, sure. I mean, he wasn't making a secret of it.
Right.
I'm gonna meet you, at least in the doorway.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand in the library and yell, Zoe!
Just
Yeah.
sounds known.
No.
I'm taking some bacon and throwing it down to my anklet. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's an odd sensation as your anklet eats bacon. And
They eat meat, don't they?
yeah. No, but usually not while you're wearing it. But this one, like, she stays on and like.
I've trained well. Very good at stealth.
Yeah. Thoe, you hear screaming coming from the library.
All right, I run down to the library.
Okay.
Could you help me with something?
Sure.
You like books, right?
Well, yeah, I like books, but now I'm instantly suspicious.
Well, remember
Give me more information, please.
Okay, so you remember when we saved Bandit,
Yes.
and I got 2 vials of mimic blood.
Yes.
I haven't used them for anything.
Okay.
I have no idea how to use them, so I asked the library for a book on it.
That was probably smart.
I do that sometimes.
Congratulations.
However, I can't read the book. Can you?
You can't read?
Not in this
I
language.
mean, I could probably help you learn. I mean, I didn't realize, I didn't want to offend you. I mean, I'm happy to help you.
I am
I
fluent.
I brought lots of verbals to read.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I am fluent in Common, Gnomish, Primordial, and Sylvan. This isn't one of those languages.
Oh, what language is it in?
I don't know because I don't read.
Well, I thought you might recognize the text. Jeez. Okay, so I look in the book. What is the text?
You cannot read it.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't read it offhand, but I might be able to arrange to be able to hang on a minute, and I keep my dragon scale on me anyway. So I'm looking at how it works. Okay, 1 hour. Got it. So I'm going to touch that dragon scale to the tip so that I can read it.
Sure. For the foreseeable future, for however long that lasts on the Golden Dragon
It's
scale.
1 hour according
1
to
hour. You are able to read and understand the Gith language.
Gith, G-I-T-H. Correct.
G-I-T-H. Inside, you see some mad scrambling set forth of somebody that's that is experimenting, but they list a whole bunch of false what not to put it in before they tell you what to put it in. And they say it's got a weird side effect, but it's an interesting potion. He's calling it teeth hands.
Teeth, hands.
No. Are you relaying all of this to me?
Yes, and I'm finding this a highly inefficient form of communication. They're really telling me a lot of things I don't need to know before telling me what I need to know.
It's very important.
I feel like I'd like to speak to this author.
Does it have a name on it?
What's the author's name?
The author's name?
You're welcome. Questions you never ask.
Salki Fierth. Salki Fierth. He calls himself the Mad Gib.
I feel like I need to speak to Mr. Salki and have a conversation about the efficiency of his writing. Anyway, so it turns out that, so what exactly were you looking for?
I just wanted to
Wanna
know
know what to
ways
do with
I
mimic
could
blood?
use the mimic blood.
Okay.
Zoe, as you start reading through this book, give me an investigation check.
Certainly. That would be a 3 plus 2 is 5.
I'm helping. Can I help?
She can roll. No, because you can't read the language, dingus.
No, but I can like
He
point
can
it.
offer me
Symbols.
emotional
Sure,
support.
you know what? I'll allow it.
This
Give her a
looks
Can you
shoulder.
There-
rub my shoulders while I
They're
read?
there. You got
okay, her
this.
third eye.
That was a nat 20.
That was a good
Thank
shoulder.
you.
Ugh. I hate this so much, but I allowed it to happen.
She got tea. She got crumpets.
You're reading through this, and it's not making a lot of sense to you, but occasionally Mandrake will point over and be like, that's a funny looking symbol. Oh, that's funny too. So, Salkith Yarf was not a smart man, and his method of understanding potions was to take various creatures' blood and various alchemical substances, mix them together, and be like, no, don't try that! Would just, lived a very long life, but a very weird life, as he just kind of, through process of elimination, would mix shit together. But you find a lot of weird recipes here, strictly dealing with, the blood of a creature plus this equals this weird-ass thing.
Okay.
So you realize that on your journeys, if you took some time and started collecting creature blood,
Uh-huh.
there's a good chance Salkifiarth would have a recipe that's gonna be out there.
Okay, so I'm going to pull out my journal,
Okay?
and I am going to start furiously making notes on everything she tells me.
It's gonna take about 8 hours.
Yeah,
8
which means
hours.
we're gonna have to have 8 different meetings.
That's
about this,
fair.
'cause I can only read this for 1 hour.
I will take
I-
1 hour worth of notes.
I find this highly unscientific and extremely dangerous.
Yeah, you know what, duders? Give me 4 d20s.
40. Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's 12.
Okay.
Oh.
12, 4, 9. Where's the other one?
12, 4, 9, and what?
And 4.
And
What was it? 4.
4 d20s.
That was 4 d20s.
You rolled a 4
2
twice?
4s, a 12, and a 9.
Jeez, I'm Pete. Okay. You find out. You find one that requires Allosaurus blood. You find something that requires.
No, he's really tempted to turn into an Allosaurus
I
and
was
see if it works.
just thinking
You
In
find.
the middle of the library, like Allosaurus.
You need.
Mom said no magic in the house.
You need to have seen an Allosaurus before you can turn into it.
Darn it.
You don't
Remember
know.
that time where that Allosaurus wandered into the glade?
This is
but then-
not the bard one shot. You find one that requires the hair of a bugbear.
Bugbear. Ooh, ha, ha.
God, I love you.
You just let me know which of these things I've seen because I'm gonna turn into that thing.
You find one that requires the eye of a displacer beast.
testicles of a small boot.
Okay.
And a
Small one though.
and another one that requires the scale of something called a fairy dragon.
That sounds both pretty and terrible.
I want to see fairy dragon.
But that takes you A, B, C, D, E, F. Just skimming and sort of finding stuff and running through the paper on your first meeting, reading the book.
Do I have to have seen an
South
actual
PCR?
Allosaurus or just a picture of one?
I'll tell you what, if you see it, you can definitely wild shape into this. If you look at pictures and read books, there's a chance, I'll have you roll percentage, there's a chance that, it's kind of right.
I put my hand on the library thing and I concentrate on a book on Allosauruses.
Mandrake is just crazy enough to
see how big an Allosaurus is as compared to the library.
No.
Oh wait.
No.
Oh wait. I might not be able to be an Allosaurus yet. Actually, I did.
Because it's a plus 2 challenge rating?
That's what I'm not sure.
Or a 2?
Allosaurus.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, you might want to look that up because it is also a large beast. Great size, speed, and strength. A challenge rating of 2. I don't think you can do this.
I don't think I give you 2 yet. I have to double check.
She tries to, tries to wild shape, and she's like, I'm not able to do that. And somehow, someone breathes a sigh of relief because the library's not destroyed.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, my name's Nix. Nice to meet you. So.
Okay.
So watching all of you guys putting your hands on this altar thing, I mean, I'm assuming at this point, just me in the doorway, just watching you guys be studious.
Sure, you guys will notice as Grim sort of creepily sort of stares at you guys, like, from the doorway, like,
So all
for the
you-
past hour.
I'm still at
just
one
chilling,
half.
just creeping.
Not yet.
So all you do is put your hand on the altar and mumble something, and you get something.
You weren't
Well-
here.
You have to. You were here when we did this. You have
It
to think
was-
about the
wasn't-
sort of book that you want to read.
Okay, I can do that.
Assuming that you read books, and then you get the
Do
book
you come out at this
that you
point?
can read
I don't want
afterwards.
them to know I'm
After you
out
get the
by my
book.
room.
Okay.
So I'm more
How's
like
your
just
breakfast?
annoyed that I can't leave my
I'm on
room
the
now.
ceiling. I'm on the roof.
Oh,
You have to
Sunbathing.
pee so bad, but I will say that you are fine in this little room, and I think Flint realizes, and it's just like, hey pal, you alright? And he takes a glass of water. Like, you okay, man? You're looking a little like, I hope I don't spill any. Oh man, you alright, buddy?
Just saw that.
You alright? Are you sympathetic, Peter? And just messes with you the whole time.
Okay. Oh, do I want to do something really stupid?
sometimes.
Always.
How does
Sunbathing?
Yeah, on
how
the
do I get between my room and the library?
The button that switches, that moves back that large red chair.
So there's no way to do it covertly. It's
No.
No, exactly. Yeah.
No, it would be like
I'm gonna
it would be
suffer,
like
yeah.
being in Bruce Wayne's, like in the bookshelf moves, and everybody turns to look, and you're like, "Hey guys,
So weird.
it's so weird. I just found
Yeah,
this."
I guess it's not here.
Yeah, unless you have a spell that would allow you to.
I've got Misty stuff, but I think I have to see where I'm going,
Yeah.
and then I've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
visibility, but that's not going to help them.
Cool. You guys just spend your time in the library. After that hour, are you gonna go up and try something with the
Yeah, I
book?
want to get information on like different types of skins or known wolf skins.
Explain. Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're looking for shifter stuff.
Yeah, like if they're like different types or that people wear, stuff that are more aggressive, more docile. What their disadvantages and advantages are, their weaknesses, right?
Sure. You walk forward and you put your hand on the bookcase or the box, and as you put your hand on the box, there's a. You don't hear the sound of a book falling into the box.
Great. So emptiness, I guess, is my information.
It's not what I said.
The box does not have a book that pops out, so it can be opened.
Do you open the box?
Yeah.
You see what looks to be sage. Loose white sage in a small ceremonial bowl.
Does the bowl have any writing on it or any like symbols?
Give me an investigation check.
Yay. That's gonna be a 10. This bowl's
Yeah, you're noticing some weird sort of symbols and stuff like carved into the bowl itself.
Is the bowl made of any certain type of material, like it's clay or stone, wood?
Not with a 10.
Word.
Yeah, it
It's
looks like a
bowl,
ceramic.
though.
Yeah.
Done.
Do you show it to me?
You guys are right there, so I imagine.
Yeah. Can I take a look at it?
Yeah, go ahead.
19.
He's like, hey, check out this clay bowl I found. And he holds it up, and you're like, that is bone, homie. No, it's bone. And sure enough, as you sort of like examine it, it's the top of a skull. Like it's that top part, but it's just in a bowl and it's holding loose sage.
Is there anything on this bowl that you recognize?
Can you roll again?
No.
Okay.
You don't recognize any of the symbols or anything like that.
Okay.
Someone
Can,
flip it back
did I do
over
it?
for me.
Can I do an Arcana check?
Sure.
should not have done that.
That was a 1.
That's a cool ass bowl.
That's made out of somebody's
Well, then
head.
Look at you with your symbols.
Then I'm just gonna take it and I'm just gonna walk out. Just walk out, like find a place to sit, just kind of look at it. Like, ooh. It's not bad.
Yeah. You hear a little voice in the back of your head being like, "Hey, numbnuts, this is the part where you ask the wolf inside you. Hey, what is this cool
What is
bowl? I'll wait."
So funny thing, Gray.
Ah.
Funny thing. There I was. What is it?
All right. I have no idea.
And you were giving me shit.
I know, but I just wanted you to ask me. I wanted to feel incorporated.
I'm tired.
When we get back tonight, though, you should light it.
For sure. Wait, what?
It's sage.
Really?
You light sage.
You have to purify your room.
God, you're pretty.
You, man, I wish the world could see you how I see you.
I do look pretty good.
Yeah.
We're a good team.
Fuck yeah.
High five. Your other hand comes up.
Weird.
You just realize you can high five. Greg. It's probably one of the best days of your life.
I was like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Every time you clap now, it's just Grim and you.
Yeah, just like, woohoo.
Cool.
Yeah, okay.
That's
So, I'm just gonna be that person. They would have gone and like after eating, they're doing their hour-long thing. I'm not feeling that great, you know. It was a rough night of sleep, so I'm gonna try to see if I can like grab a little short rest, take a nap, see if that does anything for those 3 points of HP I lost.
You go and lay down for a little bit, and you take a little nappy. You know, like in true college student form, you wake up, have breakfast, and then go take a nap.
Yeah.
And it's pretty great. Like you wake up feeling rested. You're still feeling a little rough, like almost like you're a little hungover and stuff like that.
That tracks.
But you did get a short rest, and you're feeling good. But those hit points, for some reason, just aren't. They aren't there.
Good shot.
I will say that because you rest, you have Arcana as a proficiency. What's higher, Arcana or History?
They're the same.
Okay. Give me a D20. Add your Arcana to that.
That's a 4.
It's a nice nappy. So much fun. You had a cool dream.
Yeah.
You were a bunny.
Was a bunny in my dream?
You wake up and like Bandy's like staring at you, but Shadow's like right next to her and he doesn't know what she's staring at, so he just keeps looking at her and then looking at you.
Bandy.
Bandy.
Did you catch all that?
I caught that.
Okay, what do you think of that?
You took a nap.
I did.
And Shadow's like,
Big Shadow. Very helpful.
he
Very
falls off the bed.
She'll scoop him up and set him back on the bed. Okay, sure.
You want me hit Grim?
I feel like Grim might have had the same issue I did. So we're not going to hit him. But if you want to make fun of him later, you're more than welcome.
She goes running out of the room. Shadow falls off the bed and goes running out after her.
Your ears are stupid.
She walks out to make fun of him, and he's just like busy high-fiving himself, and she kind of walks away disgusted.
I was like, I don't even need to do this.
Cool.
We're off to the races.
Me.
There's a morning meeting as you guys are sort of meandering about and going to the library, and Mother is waiting at the door, and she gives a sort of a big cough. She goes, and as you look, she has like sack lunches all lined up at the table, and it's almost like one of those moms like, why don't you go outside and play? And like
Saturday morning.
she hands everybody a sack lunch with you for you, and inside there's a little note, but you can let me know when you have your little sack lunch.
I'm grabbing my sack lunch.
You're gonna eat it just immediately as soon as you get
I'm
it.
just gonna go over there and just grab it. Just be like, thanks, Mom. Ham and cheese, no crust.
She was like, "Those are words." she gives you a kiss on the cheek, and she sends everybody sort of out towards the town of Blaston. For the sake of brevity, who's taking the lead on this one? Everybody's going.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine like
Yeah.
everybody's going and taking. I need somebody to give me. You know what? Give me just survival checks as you're sort of like.
Flint staying behind since he's still.
He's exhausted. He kind of gives you the look of like, I'll go if you want me to go. Okay, night. Like, the minute you're like, no, rest, he like pulls the covers up over his head and like goes back to sleep. And you're noticing that some of the like dark purple bruises all over his body are slowly starting to heal, and it looks like they're healing faster than it would normally. Being, and you don't know whether it's just being in proximity, being happy, getting food, being away from all of this, or the effects of being in the house itself. Like, he seems very happy and content to just be here. He's like, I'll be here when you get back. So
29 then.
29, yeah. Yeah, it takes about a day's travel from here. You find yourselves moving away from the mouth and almost perpendicular to some of the other towns that you've been into. And you find yourself in the town of Blaston, or a little ways outside of the town, traveling down a long country road. You get to a sort of bridge that crosses over what used to be a river, which has now been like dammed up to this point. So you see the river bed and the bridge is still there. As you cross over, you see some small buildings and towns. It's about 5. So you're still getting a little like sunlight and stuff like that. However, there is nothing coming from the town. Like, I will grant you this. From where you're standing, there are no people. There are no horses. There is no sound. From where you are standing, there is nothing happening in this small town.
Well, this is an odd, sort of eerie, quiet place. Sounds like just a place for us.
The queen told us things were strange here.
Yeah, there's monsters about, so
We're all kind of strange.
we're all mad here. Am I right?
No.
Only mildly irritated.
Loudly.
As you walk into the town, who's paying attention? Give me a perception check. Everybody that's paying attention. Let me know if you get above a 15.
15 or
Actually,
above or above 15?
15 and
24.
above. 24.
18.
What was that score?
15.
No, I'm just straight. No,
15.
no
That's
added.
perception.
Yeah.
Perception.
24.
24. Okay, yeah, you guys are sort of looking around the town. I will say that you guys notice, you guys hear a little bit of noise coming from like the sort of main road leading into the town. You hear what sounds like somebody like rummaging through something. Like, it's the first noise that you've heard all day. You don't know if it's an animal or something, but you hear it coming from around the side of a house. I will say that you hear with that 24, because you got to hear a little something extra. You hear a cough. So you realize it's not a wild animal. It's like a little like. Yeah. You're welcome for the Foley work.
Yeah. I'm going to like zoom in on that cough as much as I can. Like, try to
You stealthing in?
like try to triangulate where it's coming from.
Yeah, you know where it's coming from. It's coming from the side of this sort of like house in the town. The houses are sort of like built together and sort of close. And
Okay.
as you sort of go around one sort of side, it's it's nice sort of like domiciles and stuff like that. And there's a main sort of town center, but this is around one of the sides of the houses. It's just out of view from where you are.
Okay, so I would not say anything, but kind of, who's behind me?
I imagine everybody at this point. As you
Everyone's
sort of like
behind me?
step forward.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of like stop everybody for a second and kind of just nod in that direction, and then I'm gonna stealth in.
Cool. Give me a stealth roll. Cool. Yeah, you kind of sneak up slowly, and as you turn around, you see what looks to be like a young human man who's wearing these sort of big framed glasses. He's got a book in front of him, and he's kind of looking through the book, and occasionally he'll take what looks to be like a set of like dice, and he'll roll the dice on the ground, and he'll sort of look at them, and he'll sort of like look up, and then sort of go over back to the house and start like digging through like what looks to be like refuse on the ground, and he'll take a few steps forward and just sort of like note something and then write it down in a little book, and then like roll the dice again and look happy, and then pick up the dice and put them in his. pocket and just he sort of walks around. He's wearing very plain clothing, brown pants, blue shirt. The only thing is he's got a shock of white hair for somebody that looks that young.
Nice.
Okay. I'm gonna cough to get his attention.
Okay, you cough, and all of a sudden he goes, ah! And he drops the dice, and he turns around and he looks over at you, and he whips off the glasses really quick and sort of looks, and he says, we mean you no harm. Good day, sir. Hello, sir. We mean you no harm.
I didn't think you did.
Okay, God. Oh, wow. Because I didn't hear you, and I'm supposed to be keeping an eye out on things, and wow. Okay.
Interesting game you're playing.
Good day, sir. Yes, the dice. No, it's a nervous tick. It's a hello. And as he says, hello, you hear as a man comes running around the corner. He's dressed oddly. Okay, he's got blue pants on, but the pants are not like any sort of material that you've seen before. They're almost like a weird white bumpy pants. He's got black hair, and he's got the same sort of spectacles that you saw, but the lenses are completely blackened over. It's an odd look. He's also got a band on his head holding hair back, but it's just an odd-shaped band on his head. And as he comes tearing around the corner, he looks and he goes, "Hey,
Hello.
aren't you supposed to be keeping watch?" And the kid looks down and he was like, "I was rolling the dice and I was looking around. He's really sneaky." And he turns to the kid and goes, "Not nice. Look at that." And the kid looks down at the ground and he's just like, "Not enough."
What are they speaking?
What language do you speak?
Are we also there?
You are not there. Right now it's just Mandrake, but I would say you're starting to pick up weird noises coming
and
around the corner.
After I've seen both of them, I would have started making my way up there.
You turn the corner and he sort of looks up at you, and the guy sort of nods, the one that turned the corner with the blackened out specs. The other kid looks at you and he's like,
Hello.
"Hi, you're really pretty."
Oh, thank you. You're very nice looking too.
Thanks.
So just
Does everybody come around the corner?
Oh, yeah. By this point.
Everybody comes. He sort of nods. The guy behind the corner is looking, and he's sort of nodding his head. As this kid sort of waves at everybody. As Thoe comes around the corner, he goes, "Oh my God, Thoisar. Hey, hi, from the library. Do you remember me? We used to go to the library all the time."
Do I actually recognize this person?
Give me an int, straight up int. Roll a d20 and.
The bookworm.
14 plus 2. 16?
I'll let you decide. You used to read a lot of books, and this.
Hey! Yeah! Oh, the library!
Right, because you were reading that book that one time, and I was like, "Read much?"
Oh my gosh! Yeah!
It was because I came up with a joke for the reading.
I can't believe your name completely just slipped my mind right this second.
Oh,
it's right on the tip of my tongue.
How about introductions for all of us?
Yes. Well, my name is, and then you hear the guy with the shades goes and shakes his head, and he goes, "Allow me to introduce myself first. I'm Duncan."
Inside.
Duncan.
Duncan.
Yeah, give me an inside check.
14.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's not Duncan.
Really? That seems so informal. Don't you have a formal name?
I do. And maybe if we spend some time together, I'd be happy to give it to you.
Well, I have nothing but time.
Me too. But you can call me Duncan. And the kid starts laughing at this. He's like, you can call me Chris. Chris. You can Chris. Just Chris. It's with a K. And he looks over at Duncan, and Duncan just shakes his head. It's like, yeah, you can call him Chris.
Better than H. So Chris and Duncan. What a fantastic group.
Yeah. Why are you guys here?
It's
We heard you had a bit of a monster problem.
Chris looks back over at Duncan, and Duncan sort of nods his head, and Chris is like, the town had a bit of a monster problem, and we got here a few days ago, and we've been sort of searching around, and I've done a little bit of research, and I found some really unique sludge, okay? And it's not like a natural sludge, it's almost like a mucus kind of sludge.
Can I
And
just slowly start pushing him towards Stoey?
Do
Yeah.
you have a sample of this sludge?
he goes, oh my god, I do have a sample of this sludge, and he like runs over to this little pit, and he tries to like drag this like big old trunk over, and he does, and he's so excited that he grabs the handle and sort of runs forward, but it's too heavy, and he sort of falls to the ground.
I'm running over towards him to help.
Yeah,
As soon as she starts running, Charlotte poofs onto her shoulder.
yeah. Charlotte poofs under her shoulder, and he's like, oh my god,
Oh, this is Charlotte.
hi, what a beautiful arachnid.
Thank you.
Can I
I
pet
mean,
her?
she's. I mean, she's not mine. I mean, she's nobody's. But like if she had a best friend, I wouldn't be her like best of best friends. But but she's great.
I thought one time that a duck was my best friend. It turns out I just ate a lot of bread.
That's happened to me before too.
Oh my god, like yeah, and he's just immediately like he like looks over at you and he's like, can I pet her?
That's up to her.
Yes. Duncan, can I pet her? And Duncan just sort of nods his head, and he goes over and sort of like reaches a hand out towards Charlotte. Does she do anything?
She wants him.
Yeah. He just like starts like and he takes out that little notebook again, and he starts writing down in the notebook, and he takes the 2 dice out of his pocket and looks over at Charlotte and rolls the dice on the ground, and the 2 dice sort of land on the 1 and the 2, and then they flip to the 4 and the 5. And he goes, yes. And
Can
he
I
puts,
ask about the dice?
yeah.
What about the dice?
I am a divination wizard.
Okay.
It's how I deal with fates and time and predicting future outcomes.
Okay, so
No
why
one
did
ever
you-
asked me about the dice.
Why did you roll the dice just now?
Oh, I was just seeing if this was the timeline that I was supposed to be in.
Oh my god.
There are multiple timelines.
Oh my god.
Well, I've done some reading about alternate timelines. However, I don't have a lot of personal experience with them. Do you?
Yes. Okay, so imagine that there's a big, and Duncan coughs. Duncan coughs, and Chris sort of looks over at Duncan and goes, imagine you all are tired and you probably need a rest. We'll talk. We'll find time to talk.
Okay, can I get a sample of the sludge, please?
Yes. He goes over to the cart and opens the cart. And as he opens the cart, a set of stairs leads down into the cart. And he sort of like walks down the stairs into the cart, and you hear.
Is this a possible thing? Like, is there does it look like, does the cart have space between the bottom
No,
of the cart?
no. I say cart. It's like a trunk. He opens the trunk.
Oh,
The
got
trunk
it.
opens. There's stairs leading in. He walks down the trunk,
I
and
was
he's
like,
sort of
is
like
this
looking at the
way?
ground, and you hear smashing of bottles, and he's like, oh shit, and like dropping stuff, and he comes back out, and he's got this little like tube, and his left arm is smoking, and he's like putting it out, but he hands you the little like sludge.
What else is down there?
My lab.
You have a lab.
Yeah.
Can I see the lab?
Do you think we have
And
I
Dun-
swear, I think Zoe's doing more flirting than me.
as soon as you say that, his face gets red. His face gets red, and he's
Her
like,
face was already red, but it was also green, so it's an odd color.
not. He
Scientifically, yes.
roll 2 d6s for me.
There's 2 3s.
Not yet.
Okay. So what have you discovered so far about the sludge?
Well, I have it narrowed down to several sort of different species that I believe it to be, and none of them are great. The first real mystery is what happened to the townsfolk.
Do you know if the sludge is safe to touch?
Yeah. Are you allergic to anything?
No, but I could help you find out what it is.
You can touch it.
Alright, I'm gonna. It'll take a while though.
It's
So.
so comforting when he rolls the dice before he says, yeah, you can touch it.
Duncan is spending his time sort of walking around the perimeter and sort of looking off in the distance.
Can I just follow him and watch?
Sure. What are you watching for?
Mannerisms, things he touches, things he stares at a little too long.
Sure. Give me a. I don't know if this is insight here. Yeah, give me an insight as you started studying his movements.
I'm gonna identify as a ritual, so it'll take me 11 minutes to do.
Cool. Yeah, he's super stoked about this, and he actually brings you over to a little spot that he sort of cleared away, and he's like put wood planks down, and he's like, if you want to use this, it's a really good space. Like the sun hits it. There's like a breeze that comes in from the northwest, and it's a really good place to cast a ritual.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you mind if I watch? I can take notes. Do you
sure.
mind? Do you have like performance things? Like.
Just let me touch the sludge.
Cool.
Which direction are they facing?
You guys are facing. You guys are facing off towards, like, let's say that there's like a main sort of building, and there's like houses all the way down to this building, and then past the building, there's some more that sort of lead off into the distance. It's
Okay.
almost like everything is built around this sort of
Right,
central
so the
hub.
trunk. Is anyone watching where the trunk's at?
No, not for the moment.
Okay. I just kind of want to take a look at the trunk, just kind of like walk around it.
Just so you know, I got a nat 20.
Okay. You
Yeah.
walk around the trunk.
Yeah.
You're watching him, and as it gets darker and darker, you're noticing that he's still wearing the darker shades. At one point, there is a sound from the woods, and he reaches down to his side and grabs onto something, and it looks like the handle for something. It looks like a handle to something, but there's nothing on the other end of the handle. He reaches down and he grabs the handle, and he looks this way, and there is a flash of light behind the darkened specks. And as the flash of light happens behind the darkened specks, he looks over to where you are and pushes them back on his face and goes, "Hey, you want to take a picture? It'll last longer."
Maybe. What was that? That cool little flashy thing. That was cool.
He looks around to see if anybody's paying attention to him.
Could you just not?
Are you? So you're not with Chris.
I was. Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought that was Chris.
This
That's
is
the other-
Duncan.
Okay, no, sorry. Yeah, no, because he was starting to talk about what was going on with the townspeople, and I still want to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris is explaining to you what's happening with the town people. As he comes forward, he lowers the glasses down a little bit, and you see no eyes. It's just light.
Just like,
Yeah.
this is something she's seen before? Oh, that's cool.
How does Day react?
She probably would just like stare, like trying to find. She would try to make sense of it and try to see if there are eyes like within the light.
He pushes the glasses back on his face.
And you can't tell us your name because of time. Oh wait, she wasn't there for that, would she? So why can't you tell us your name?
What's your name?
Day?
Can I have your name?
Can you have my name? Like go around putting my name on everything, saying it's yours.
I like you, Day.
I like you, Duncan.
And he keeps walking around the perimeter. Chris goes back over to you as you're still casting at this point. Chris goes over to you and says, "Okay, here's what happened with the people of the town. As far as I can gather, everybody got up simultaneously from their domiciles in the middle of the night, got up, walked out, and walked that way." And Duncan hears this, comes over, takes his hand and like shifts it over this way. It's like they went that way. There's a small cave leading into sort of the side of this sort of like major hill. And Duncan said that we needed to check to make sure there were any people still out. But there were tracks leading into there. The sludge.
They all went into a cave?
They all went into the cave.
And did you go to check inside the cave? Are they still in the cave?
No. However, Duncan did, and he wasn't able to find any sort of entrance in the cave.
So they went towards a cave with no entrance, and you believe that they still may or may not be in said cave that has no entrance, but you don't know how they got into the cave that has no entrance.
With no windows and no doors. And Duncan laughs.
Okay, and then the sludge.
Yeah.
And the sludge exhibits what properties?
It's really gross.
Well, other than really gross, because really gross doesn't really tell me much.
It's kind of acidic, and I'm picking up weird traces of magic sort of coursing through it, which is odd for something that has been dropped after so long ago.
So they left the sludge? Like they went and the sludge was in their wake?
We found it in one of the domiciles.
Oh, okay. Oh, the sludge was... So does the sludge react to you or anything else? Have you thoroughly tested its reactions?
The only reaction is this, and he goes over to his side pouch, and he sort of reaches into this little backpack that he has in his side, and he goes, vial of water, please, and reaches into the backpack and pulls out a small vial of water. And he takes a little bit of the sludge, like another little container. He gave you one as you're sort of meditating. He takes a little bit of the container, and he drops a droplet of water, and this thing goes... like... The stuff in the container reaches outward, like around the water, like holds it, and then comes back.
And it sucks the water in.
It sucks the water in.
So the water, we don't see the drop of water.
You don't see the drop of water anymore. It's almost like he dropped it above a cup, and the contents of the cup reached out, grabbed the water, and came back.
How large a scale have you tested this on? Have you used an excessive amount of water yet?
That's irresponsible for a scientist. I mean, how excessive of water are we talking about?
Well, I would try a drop of water, and then I would try, a few drops of water, and then a few more, and each time testing. And
I feel safe testing it on a smaller scale when it comes to a bucket, but I don't want to contaminate an ecosystem through my own experiment.
Well, is the sludge growing when you add the water to it?
No, not that I can tell. It maintains its volume. It looks like it's consuming it. The energy is still being utilized, but I don't know for what.
But so the volume of the sludge does not change. It just absorbs the water, but it doesn't increase as to the amount of the volume of the water that you've just now added to it.
I've noticed a slight change in color to the sludge, but that color seems to dissipate over time and go back to the original color.
I'm hearing all this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to do some testing of my own place.
As the ritual completes, what sort of ritual are you casting? This is identify.
Identify, so it'll give me.
This is blood. It is the blood belonging to a. How much do I want to give you?
Well, I don't know if the spell will give me that. It just.
I'll say this: it is the blood belonging to an aberration.
Okay.
Do you share that with us?
Immediately.
I would also like a vial.
I only have the two.
I will get my own.
How much? Okay. I would like to, I've got the sludge. The sludge is in my
He gives
hands.
you one of the vials.
Okay. the
He's
sludge
like,
is
could
in
we
my hands.
maybe go have, if you wanna, we could read things?
I would love to read things. I'd also like to see your laboratory. I'd like to do a little bit of testing on the sludge.
He hands over the vial.
Okay. Immediately, what I would like to do is I would like to detect magic on the sludge.
Cool.
And that will at least tell me what kind of magic it has.
Sure. You cast.
Is this evening right now?
Yeah, it's evening.
Okay. Because I'm gonna do one more spell after this.
Okay. So how about this? You don't detect any magic in this.
Okay.
However, with the time spent not detecting magic, you realize that this is a physical reaction then, and you're able to pinpoint the fact that this thing is not safe to be touched
Oh.
for large quantities of time.
Okay, got it.
Oh.
But it's not.
You had the vial, and I will say that there was a bit of insulation there. You touched it briefly, but we're not doing extended contact, so we're okay.
But it's not magical of any sort.
It's not magical.
Okay.
Amongst the refuse that's on the ground, is there any articles of clothing that were left behind?
Yeah, I would say there's shirts and stuff, but you don't know if it's recent or what, but you find probably some rags or some shirts and things like that.
Okay, so I want to try to go for something and just go for off the scent. Because if you're saying that there's a cave with no door or window, there's got to be a way.
Do you open it up to gray when you do this? You grab some clothing on the ground and you pick it up and you go, and you take a deep whiff and give me a wisdom saving roll.
Oh god. That's a nat 20.
Gray starts flipping. Gray's like, nope, and you manage to just through sheer presence, like, bro. You're at here. I need you to be here, so we can be here and do this. And like, so you manage to calm him down enough. But it's a dog. When something comes into you're in the middle of the night and the dog is in the house and your dog just starts freaking out for no reason.
At 3 a.m. got it, yeah. So, are you picking up a scent, or is this something we should be cautious about?
Both.
Okay. Could you give anything more than that? I mean, it's big.
Permission to drive the car?
I'm sorry?
Permission to drive the car?
Go ahead.
You lose control of your legs.
Yeah.
You lose control of your body for a little bit, and you guys watch as Grim just starts walking towards the cave.
Bye.
Duncan's like, hey, where you going, Chief?
I'm not entirely sure.
You walk over to where the cave is, and as you walk over to this cave, you see that it's large, from where you are. Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
It's large, but you definitely see a back wall of this thing. And as you come forward, Duncan's like, there's no luck. I've searched this thing up and down. There's no way into this thing. And as you walk forward, Gray's like sniffing, and he pulls your hand up, and he curls your hand into a fist, and shoves your hand forward. As your hand shoves forward, a cat runs past you, giving you a jump scare. You press into a stone that sort of goes inward, and as it does, a chunk of the floor lowers and drops, like opening up like a small passage that if you were to crawl on your belly, you could probably get through.
I'm going to start shouting at everybody for their attention.
Duncan's already in there. As he comes in, Chris comes in, and everybody, you hear Grim yelling. Sure enough, as you guys congregate in the cave, Duncan goes, son of a bitch. Well done, man.
Language.
It's Grim. Or Gray. Thank you.
Yeah, no. All right. Chris goes to gather his stuff, and as he does, Duncan puts a hand up. He goes, "You need to stay here, in case they call." And Chris nods his head, and he goes, "Bring me back something, please." And Duncan sort of nods and puts a hand on his shoulder, and he looks it over at you guys, and he's like, "You guys coming?"
Oh, yeah.
I'll be right there. I bend down to tie a shoe.
Duncan immediately gets down on his belly and sort of army crawls through this small opening in the floor, in the down.
Going in.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm sticking with Chris.
Okay, 5. Yeah, you're saying out. Okay,
We're going last.
last.
I'm gonna take a minute before
Okay.
I go. I plan on going, but I'm gonna take a minute.
You know what? No. Everybody, no. Okay. All right. Afterwards, lab, correct? Yes? I really want to test this sludge.
If I'm allowed, hey, do me a favor. Close your eyes.
Okay.
He grabs your hand and he holds out a hand. You two are the only ones there, and he holds out a hand to either one of you.
I'll reach out. Or him. Who?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
You're with me, come on.
He grabs her hand, and there's this weird sort of like, you hear this sound in your ear of like dice rolling. You hear tick, tick, tick. And then he grabs your hand, and you hear tick, tick, tick. He's like, just be safe.
Okay.
I'll see you soon.
What was that?
Oh, that was
This-
fate. That was time. That was me trying to help out.
Okay.
Good luck.
All right. Thanks. Okay.
You go?
Yeah. Go.
Okay. I'm gonna like,
You're still out there, correct? Yeah.
I'm gonna nudge Chris and go, she likes you.
No, she doesn't.
No, she does.
Really?
She took her nose out of a book and looked at you for more than 2 seconds. She loves you.
It's really sweet. I don't think anyone's ever liked me, or like not like my mom likes me, but like likes me.
Right.
Liked me in that way, like when like two people like each other.
I understand the dynamic you're explaining, yes.
You're going to make things really complicated for me.
She's inside.
It's gonna be
I
fun.
know. No, this is just me talking.
So what aren't you telling us?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah. All those
We can
things.
figure this all out later. In you go.
I think we should have all the information before we go inside. That's all. I think Zoe would want us to have all the information.
And she can ask herself, dear.
What do you think, Chris?
Between the two of you, you get one honest question before you go. I'll answer one, but then you have to go. She needs you.
Absolutely.
So confer. You get one honest
You're the
question.
one that asks questions. Ask away.
What's the most important thing you aren't telling us?
Close your eyes.
He closes his eyes.
Keep them closed. He doesn't do anything. He's just talking to him. Says keep them closed. Keep your eyes closed. Look at me. No. Keep your eyes closed. Look at me. And you don't know what it is, but there is a pulse. It's like purple, radiating off of him. You shift your head and turn to the side, but it's not there, and as you come back, it's almost like you have to see it when your eyes are closed. And it's a purple pulse where his heart is. And you spend a little bit of time. Give me an investigation check. This is a high DC. You're watching him as Mandrake just sort of keeps his eyes closed.
Investigation.
Yeah.
18. No.
It looks like a shape. You realize that you think if you had enough time, you might be able to figure out what it is.
Okay.
He says, open your eyes. I promise. You're on the side of right here.
That's enough.
Okay,
And I
go.
take my hat, hold it tight, crawl in.
Yeah.
I got what's about to happen.
As you go in after he does, Chris sits against the wall and starts humming. And he just starts humming a song that you've never heard before. And it's this weird sort of melancholy song. And he just starts humming it as you sort of make your way into this cave. So, we can take a break here if we need it, or we can keep going. How are we feeling? You gotta pee? All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute intermission, really quick, and we will be right back with discovering what's in this cave. Okay? Take 5 minutes. We'll see you guys in just a second.
rise. You must overcome.
And we are. All right, guys. I gotta roll initiative. During the break, we went. Oh wow. We went and rolled initiative. During the break, in case there's a battle, just in case, you make your way down into this underground tunnel. As you do, you are finding that the surface is getting wet and green, and you're picking up weird sort of like moisture in the air that wasn't present. Give me a perception check as you make your way through this cave. I need to know specifically who here does not have dark vision.
Higher.
It's really dark.
Disadvantage or
Yes, so
Okay.
perception at disadvantage, and you are having a hard time seeing much of anything.
29.
29.
Now,
20.
20 not,
I bet we can see.
but I have dark vision now.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think. Oh my gosh, could I not know
You
it's
don't.
fine. I just
You
I don't
don't.
have dark vision.
Okay, it is really dark for Nyx. It is really dark for Thoe. You
she's got sharp.
okay?
I may wild shape at some point.
You guys are noticing sort of the sort of slimy area, and you pick up on the fact that it's the same sort of sludge about my 20s, the people who rolled 20s. It's the same sort of sludge that was found at the top. As you get closer and closer into the cave, it's you, Enwin, who notices the figure standing very silently off in the distance. It looks humanoid.
I'm just gonna kind of silently get the attention of the people that I can and point.
Cool. Everybody but Thoe and Nyx, you guys watch as Enwin sort of points off in the distance towards a figure that is a humanoid figure that you can now see sort of outlined in the darkness.
I'm gonna step back a little bit because I would know that they don't have dark vision. So I just want to step back and just relay information to them, just kind of just be present. with
Cool.
them.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna stick next to Nyx.
Okay.
You got a hat so you can throw it.
Right.
Teleport on the other side. Teleport on the other side.
Correct.
How far is this guy away?
Yeah, how far away is it?
30 feet.
30 feet?
Is it look like it's moving at all?
Looks like it's stationary.
I was trying to pick up a piece of rock or something. I just want to toss it in that direction and just kind of see if there's
Cool.
if it reacts.
There
to
is
it in a certain way.
as the rock sort of flies outward, and The figure does not respond.
I'm gonna message Mandrake.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a time for talking or a time for fighting? In your
Yes.
opinion.
Historically, I haven't been great at making that decision.
You're right. And then she'll message Edwin. Is this a time for talking or a time for fighting?
That's the time for neither. I'm gonna need your help in just a second. If there's trouble, you're gonna have to shake me. He's gonna close his eyes. He's gonna go see through Charlotte, who's going to go invisible, and she's going to go over.
Sure. Charlotte sort of creeps over, and you see as Edwin's eyes go sort of like a dull, just white color, or
Probably because it's dark vision, we can only see shades gray. So
Yeah.
I can figure that one out later.
yeah. So you see his eyes go sort of dark, and Charlotte sort of creeps off of his shoulder and sort of like. She immediately turns invisible and creeps up to this figure. As you look through the eyes, you're seeing this figure sort of like swaying, and the lips are moving, but no sound is coming out of them. It's a humanoid figure. They're wearing clothing. It looks like an older man. As you sort of look forward and down, you see that he is not alone, and that the further you get into the cave, sort of leading up, there are multiple figures, all of different ages, most of them human, that are sort of like waving like this and
Is this sludge under our feet? Like, are we in contact with this sludge?
how would Thoe look for this? She is blinded at this
But
moment.
she can. Oh no, I'm wearing shoes. Never mind. No.
There's people in this cave, but they're just standing there. It's like they're talking to somebody, but they're just standing there with their eyes closed.
Should I shake one of them?
Gibbering.
Is there another direction you think we could just go instead of over to them?
Is there another exit to this room?
It looks like it's all leading further and further down. There's a slight incline.
So no avoid of these people at all.
Hmm?
So no avoid.
No, if you're going to keep moving forward, you keep moving past them, and it turns into like one of those. This is a reference I can drop that some of you will get: the Moonlight Gauntlet. As people walked out of the theater, and the cast would line up along the sides, and you had to go like great show, like you know, like, and you sort of walk through it, like, and it gets.
So there is a place to pass through.
Yeah.
I am going to move over towards the wall because
Okay.
it's a fairly how wide is the passage?
You have no idea.
Okay, I'm gonna move over because I can at least get them to point me in the direction of the
Sure.
wall.
So he's like, point me towards the wall, guys.
Okay, so if I'm walking towards the wall, like how quickly can I get to the, like how far is the wall?
You estimate 10, 15
Okay.
feet.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to wild shape into a giant spider.
A giant spider.
Well, large beast. No, large is going to be a lot larger than us. I'm just going to go for medium beast is giant wolf spider. So I'll go for that instead.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be too massively crazy huge.
Thoe makes her way over towards the wall, and as she does, she touches it, and then there's a punk, and where Thoe was is now a giant, or a large, medium-sized wolf spider.
Because that way I can, number one, have dark vision. Number two, stay on the wall.
Give me a D20.
And no, I was already gonna do it. 2.
You pee a little.
Yeah, no.
What was in the cupboard?
Um,
I hate it when you do that.
Number three, that way, ideally, if there's sludge on the ground, I'm keeping my little spider feet out of the
Sure.
sludge.
So you crawl along the wall. I will say that now that you have dark vision, you made sure that the spider has dark
Yes,
vision.
I double checked. I actually have
You
dark
realize-
vision and blind sight.
You realize if you crawl along the wall as these guys move forward, you're going to be on the other side of the people. So
Okay.
Thoe climbing the wall, people standing catatonic, they're going to be moving forward, and you're going to be on the back side of these people.
If I crawl across the floor with my little spider feet, am I going to be crawling in sludge? Are these people standing in sludge?
No. You see little pockets of it.
Okay.
You don't see the floor covered ceiling to
Are
but
the
you-
people wearing shoes or are they barefoot?
bare feet.
Okay.
Mind the substance on the floor.
I'm gonna need help.
Stay
Okay.
close.
Need help knowing where the floor is?
So I'm gonna look at Thoey Spider and say, you take the right, I'll take the left. And then I'm gonna relay to them.
I'll bring up the rear.
I will see you on the other side. And then I will bring up the hat and forward on the left, and then Thoey's got the right.
Sure. You watch as Mandrake disappears, and the hat sort of starts like creeping forward a little bit, and through the. Well, Duncan looks at you guys and is like, sort of nodding his head, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Come, fuck," like, and just starts walking forward.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
I'm following him.
More people.
I'm also dragging this one like
Yeah.
directly in my walkway.
More people, more people, more people, more people, more people, until you come to a large body of water. The people seem to be gathering around the edge of this large body of water. All of them catatonic, all of them frozen, all of them.
If they're all there around this body of water, I just snap in front of one of their faces, trying to get their attention.
Duncan will, as he's walking forward, will come back and sort of lift you up, and firemen carry you down the passageway, with you as Charlotte sort of creeping forward along the way. You are now at the large body of water.
Just so you know, there's a body of water in front of us.
A head turns to look over at her.
I'm not deaf.
Another two of the heads look over at where Nyx is.
She's gonna cast message. Don't talk. Their heads move when you do.
One of the heads turns and looks over at you. More of the heads are now sort of turning in unison, and as they do, that sort of moving of their mouths thing stops, and they look sad, and they like look down at the ground.
She is going to stand straight like they were and start swaying and moving her lips in.
Everybody, give me a
Contact.
wisdom saving throw.
8.
21.
17.
10.
4.
Yay, we did it.
It was nice knowing you.
So glad we're here, guys. Who's
What'd you get?
10.
Mandrake.
I am still in the hat. I'm just saying I'm still in the hat. That's all I'm saying.
Grim.
8.
You got 8 as well.
I got 10.
Hey, Grim. What do you want?
Is this like them asking me, or is this like a voice?
What does Grim want more than anything in the whole world?
I don't know.
What does he see that the wolves give him?
It's almost like,
That would be what he wants.
well, it's not very power anymore. Now it's just like your best friend, your greatest ally, like your biggest support.
You
Like,
want pack.
yeah, but it's like pack in a different sense. Like it's
Friendship,
it's
support,
it's, all, it's
pack,
family. Like, It's
family.
family. over
Yeah,
pack.
you know what, buddy. You hear a little voice in your head, being like, "Hey, Grim, how much you want, pal? You want pack, right? Like family?
Well, of course, we all need family. And,
I'll give you that.
and how do you figure that?
All you gotta do is hang out with me."
And who are you?
Grim, you are no longer in control of your body.
Oh no.
And we are gonna get right into initiative. As a large being comes out of the water in front of you. As it comes out of the water, it has grayish skin. It's got multiple eyes on the front of it, and it's sort of looking at all of you. Yes, dear?
I have counter charm.
You do have counter charm.
Does that work for this?
It would if you knew he was being charmed.
Ah.
So now we are going to jump right into initiative. Duncan will walk forward, and as he does, he.
As soon as I see this, I'm out of Charlotte.
You're out of Charlotte.
Yeah.
Okay. I will allow that. Okay. He takes the sunglasses off, and as he does, a radiant light sort of comes out. You can now see. Anybody who doesn't have, you can kind of see in front of you where Duncan is looking. As he does, Duncan sort of walks in front of where Day is and sort of stands there and pulls out this handle. And as he does, he whispers a word, and where the top of the handle is now appears a large spectral hammer, almost like it was the handle of Mjolnir, and the hammer part of it appears in light, and he sort of drops it at his side. And he goes, "Demon, you do not belong here. Leave now and let these people go." And he does not make a move to do anything. Mandrake.
I would. Okay, so we haven't been incredibly clear on the hat and like me popping out of the hat. Does that
Takes an action.
That's an action?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am going to land. I'm gonna land next to Thoe.
Okay.
Drop out of the hat.
As he drops out of the hat, the tail from the creature that's been sort of frozen in place, as he pops out of the hat and presents a form of movement, the creature makes a hissing sound from where it is and lashes out. That is a 21 to hit. Does that hit your AC?
It does.
Okay. You take
Uncanny dodge.
15 points of bludgeoning damage as this tail sort of reaches out and it smacks into you, slashing you in the side a little bit.
No.
So then it turns to start sort of looking at all of you and hissing.
Is that halved?
That's half.
That is halved. Cool.
Bro, that could have been brutal.
Yeah, it could have.
Okay. Chris,
Charmed, right?
you're charmed. Dude, something happened to your friends. They done messed up. They're fighting for the wrong side. They're fighting against Pack.
We could have everything we need. We could have everything we
Nope,
want.
it's too late. Who do you go after?
Who is the closest to me? I'm assuming it's one of these two.
Give me a D6.
That was right next to her.
Yeah.
She was dragging me home.
Thanks, cheese. That's 3.
2, 3. Enwin is close to you.
Yeah.
Give me an attack roll.
Yes, sir. Here we go. that's a 3.
That's a 3. Okay. So it's weird. Grim sort of turns to you, and as he does, he's got this weird look in his eyes, and he makes a weird sound and sort of slashes out with you with the glaive, and the glaive gets close to you, but doesn't quite hit. It almost looks like it's directed away at the last second. But that is his move. Mandrake.
I'm going to. I'm gonna throw the hat.
You are still in the hat.
Oh, no, I popped out of that. That's how he hit me.
That's how he hit. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, wait. You already had your turn then, didn't you? Yeah, you popped out of the hat. That's my mistake. You already had your turn. Day, it's your turn.
So, Nay, she's gonna go ahead and, like, she saw him attack, so she would know, but
Yeah.
she wouldn't have been able to use counter charm still because it has to be done upon being attacked or upon being charmed.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's gonna go ahead and just try to attack this thing. She's going to use magic missile.
Okay.
And that's gonna be 1d4 plus 1 force damage to each target.
And there's 3.
Okay.
And there's 3, so it would be 3d4.
Yeah. Roll damage on that as you sort of activate your necklace and do that. Nyx, you are up next.
So it's gonna be 11.
You take 11 points of damage, Chris. Are you aiming at the creature?
I'm trying to aim at the creature.
Okay.
I was just saying.
Yeah, the creature takes 11 points of damage and it reacts in a not very good way. Cool.
So there's the creature, there's Grim. Are there any other, like, of those followers nearby? Like
They're sort of like looking at it. Chris, as those magic missiles hit the creature, you get this sharp pain in your head. Okay, it goes like it's like somebody like stabbed you in the neck or something like that. You take 11 points of damage as these magic missiles rip into the creature.
And I don't really have any of my faculties aside from just
Day's attacking you. Day's attacking your friend. You take 11 points of damage as she hits the creature.
This is gonna be a shit show.
Fight me.
I'm gonna use slow on Grim and the creature.
Okay,
So-
they're not anywhere near, like Grim's like lined up with you guys. The creature is in front of you
how,
on the lake.
How far is the distance between them?
I would say about 15 feet.
It's
And if they're in different directions, so
the
Grim.
range is 120 feet with a 40-foot box.
Okay, so you're going to hit everyone. Grim is in
But
combat
I can choose which creatures to hit with slow.
with. It's not an.
You alter time around up to 6 creatures of your choice in a 40-foot cube within range.
Okay, I'll allow it. What is the save on
Wisdom
slow?
15. It is a concentration.
Okay. Chris, give me another wisdom saving throw. 9. Okay. Give me a second wisdom saving throw.
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you are slowed. You don't get a bonus action or any sort of reaction, and you see as this creature starts to it like takes a deep breath in, and then like a long breath out.
It also has -2 penalty to AC and
Yep.
Dex saving throws.
So you have a -2 to your AC, buddy.
Shit.
Okay, that is your move. Enwin.
It's still standing in the water.
Yep.
How close am I to the wall?
I would say 5 feet away from the wall.
I'm gonna move to the wall,
Okay.
up the wall, as far up to the ceiling as I can,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna cast Witch Bolt.
Ooh, interesting. Is there a save on Witch Bolt?
It's an attack.
Okay, give me an attack roll, which is now at a -2 AC.
That it's an 8.
It's an 18.
Yes.
You hit. Roll damage.
D12.
15.
Okay. 15 points of damage as this thing screams outward. Good. Thoe.
Okay, I'm gonna try. This may or may not work. There's a lot of debate online about this. I'm going to try to. I'm assuming at this point that I know something's wrong with him, or do I need to do a perception?
No,
to
he's
see?
attacking.
Okay. Can I do dispel magic on a charm? I'm having trouble getting a straight answer on this. Dispel magic can end
Yes.
a spell. If it was a spell, it can
If
end
it was a
If
spell,
it's an innate charm, like a vampire has an innate charm thing, then it does not end it.
yeah. If
So-
it's a spell, then
Okay,
you
so
realize
then
it'll have an
I'm going to at least
effect.
try. I'm
Okay.
going to come out of my bonus action to come out of my wild shape, and I'm going to try casting dispel magic at 3rd level on Grim.
Yep. Perfect. You watch as Thoe sort of walks forward and she starts tracing arcane sigils in the air, and as she does, there's a wave of magical energy that sort of floats towards you, and you have full control over your faculties
Oh,
again.
it's fucking on, bro.
Your AC is lowered by 2. You realize you have no bonus action, and you have a regular action to do things. The creature screams out and will just, with its move, dive into the water of the lake.
Oh, for sure.
Do we get an attack of opportunity on this dude?
Who is in melee with the creature?
I'm not getting that close.
I was next.
Not you, not
He
you.
swiped me with his tail.
He did swipe you with the tail, and he's got a 15-foot
he's
reach on
magic.
that. Not you, not you, not you, not you. None of you.
I wasn't excellent when they charged me.
Nope.
You were trying
I
to
was
get
with
me.
you guys.
You're attacking
Son of a
us.
bitch.
Yeah.
You
Um,
would.
You're attacking
It's a
us.
good idea.
Who knows how to swim real well?
If you had mage,
Okay, so
Slayer?
here's
If I had, huh?
if you had like a mage slayer.
no. I
This might
okay.
be your sludge.
No, it's not even that.
Cool.
I have. Damn it! This might be really dumb, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
I drink my potion of water breathing.
Okay.
Bye. Ooh,
Cool.
before you. Can I give you some of a shot of the green
It is Duncan's turn as Mandrake sort of pops his potion and lifts it up. As Duncan sort of strides forward, he casts a spell, and you see a glimmering shimmer happening under the water, and you hear a scream from the creature. And it yells out in pain. As it does, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thoe,
Yes.
frick. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Counter-charm, I can't do it, I can't do it.
Cool. How long do you keep it
15.
up?
How long do I keep it up?
Counter charm is an action. It's like you start playing a song, and you keep playing this song, and while this song is happening, you are countering the charm. It's almost like you keep playing this song's gonna get stuck inside your head. Like, it's not an instant thing. Read through the...
Power up, disrupt mind influence effects as an effect of your next turn. It's one action.
It's one action?
Yeah.
Cool. That's not what you took your action to do. You
Okay,
took your
okay.
action to do this. Like, if this was a reaction, you could do that.
Okay, understood.
But if you start playing it next, she would have advantage. Thoe,
Yes.
your mind doesn't belong to you.
Crap.
You belong to something else.
To the nether.
Cool. Mandrake. Pop the potion as a bonus action.
Yep.
All right.
Real dumb. It's real dumb. But it's so Mandrake.
You jumping in the water? I need to know. Let's go.
I shove my head in the water and look.
This thing is looking up at you. It is it's got a gaping mouth. It's got 3 eyes. 1, 2, 3. Bunch of tentacles in the water. And as
Am I
you,
close to do anything? Close enough to do anything? You said he's looking right at me.
it's looking right at you.
I have a dagger in my hand.
You're gonna swim up to it. I will say with your movement, you could reach this thing. 5, 4,
No.
3, 2. Okay. It is your turn. Chris, what are you doing?
Okay, so it's some of the water. There's really not much I can do, but I'm gonna shift, and that's gonna be my turn. I guess I don't have a bonus action, so.
Cool. Yeah. You're like, come on, buddy. It's time to
from
rock
the
this.
bro.
And Gray's like, yes, and like
There will be
like comes
blood,
out.
let's go.
There will be blood. Blood will have blood. They say. Day. It is your turn.
She sees this thing dive in the water.
You watched this mandrake just stuck his head in the water.
I am going to, where is it? I would like to do Mantle of Inspiration as a
Okay.
bonus action.
Okay.
Spend 1 use Bardic Inspiration to grant temporary HP to the number of creatures. You can see 60 feet. Each creature can use the reach action speed. I'm trying to figure out how much HP
Cool.
you guys get.
As you look up that, I will say that that's your action.
That's a bonus action.
That's your bonus action,
Yeah,
Mantle
so
of Inspiration.
I would also like to be that merge and go ahead and cast Dissonant Whispers on it at 2nd level.
Do you need to be able to see it?
A creature within your choice within range can hear.
Okay, so it can't hear you if it's under the water, though.
Well, that's...
It could hear a muffled version of it.
Oh. Isn't that creepier, though?
I'll give me a d20. If you can do 1 through 10, it can't hear you. 11 through 20, it hears you.
That's a nat 20.
Okay, it definitely hears you. Roll what you need to roll for it.
Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points of damage.
Okay.
It's a save.
It's a save. All right. So
It gets a save, doesn't it?
Yeah.
what's the save on this?
14. 14.
Yeah, it fails at save, so it takes full
Okay.
damage.
Take 16 damage.
Okay. Anything else that happens to it from Dissonant Whispers?
You chose
Read
it,
through-
It takes the damage and then it has to move. As far as its speed will let it.
Okay. Read those spells. Okay. So it starts swimming away after this. Uses its reaction.
It has to take a reaction if available to move its speed away from you.
Cool.
If the reaction is available.
Yep. It does, and it starts swimming deeper and deeper into the water. Cool.
Slowly though?
You said he
Or
was
is,
supposed
or
to
is
do
it out of
something
slow
to
now?
move.
Yeah.
It uses its reaction to move away, so he gets an opportunity.
He does get an opportunity attack.
So I can use this. No. Okay. Then I.
You stab it with the dagger.
Yeah, I stabbed with the dagger.
Cool. Give me an attack roll.
Dagger 14.
14 just misses as you sort of like reach out with this dagger, and it like barely gets close to it. It gets real close, but it's not able to do it. It's not able to sort of penetrate the hide, and it starts swimming away.
I'm giving him 5 temporary hit points. I'm giving Mandrake 5 temporary hit points.
Okay.
And then, how you looking? How about you?
Day looks real good. As Day looks real good, you are inspired by how good she looks, and yeah.
Can I give him more hit points? I'm giving you 10 hit points then. Can I?
Each of them gains 5 temporary hit points,
Okay, then do you want to take 5? I gave you 5, him 5.
which increases
look
to
okay?
8 at 5th level. So you're giving them 8 hit
I
points.
8.
Yeah. What that means is, as Day looks really good, you also can use your reaction to move your movement speed if you would like, so you can chase this thing in the water.
I would like to back out of the water, please.
You got it. Okay. Cool. That's your move, Nyx.
I'm gonna use mage armor since I forgot to before we went into the cave.
Cool.
And I think that's gonna be pretty much. I'll move to get a better position, but I'm not going in the water because I don't want to deal with that.
Perfect. All right. Enwin.
So I don't even have to make an attack roll. It's still going to take 3d12 lightning damage automatically
Because it's in the water.
because Witch Bolt.
That's right. Oh, so you're maintaining Witch Bolt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just takes the damage automatically. I don't have
Cool.
to make another attack. So it's
Roll damage.
12, 16, 25 lightning damage.
Perfect. Which I think is increased because it's surrounded by water.
Yeah, and if you didn't do that last time, it was 15 damage. Just throwing it out there, yeah?
Okay. There is another scream from it. Huh. Ooh. Okay. Cool. That is Enwin's turn. Thoe.
What's he making me do? Like just attack somebody in the party?
Yeah, you're attacking Nyx.
Okay, well, thank goodness I have like nothing offensive and I suck at attacking. So I'm gonna attack him with my quarterstaff because it's really the only weapon I have.
No. What are your spells?
I have spells, but I don't really have offensive spells.
Okay.
Like, I mean, the only really offensive one I could do is infestation.
That's the only spells you have?
I have Fairy Fire. Like as far
Perfect.
as
Give
offensive,
that fucking buff, bro.
Yep. Fairy fire to Nyx.
Fairy fire to Nyx. All right, so I'm
Actually, no. Fairy fire to Nyx, Day, and you.
I'd be out of Christmas
Me
tree.
getting in a
maybe.
better position close to them
Huh?
now. No.
Yeah.
Is there a
So
save
uh,
for Fairy Fire?
that is a save.
Yeah, if
Dex.
you get a dex save of 14 on my fairy fire, it's a 60-foot
Counter
radius.
spell.
Okay. Thoe reaches up towards you, and you cast counter spell in a clutch move, and all of a sudden, what level spell is fairy fire?
It
It's
is
a level
first
2.
level spell.
Third level?
First level.
First level. It's immediately dispelled.
20 on that.
Cool. With your action, you creep closer towards the water
Okay.
with your movement. Cool. That is your move. Very good. The creature comes screaming out of the water, pissed off and terrified, and starts scanning the room. And will go ahead and it'll attack. I have to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're up on the ceiling. 3, 4, and you're close to it. So it's going to attack you first. Ooh, okay, that's a crit. So you're going to take.
Yeah.
18, 4, 29 points of
Uncanny
damage.
dodge.
Okay. So halve that to 16. 14. All right. Cool. That's the first attack. It's going to send a tentacle out towards you. You navigated further away, correct?
I went to get a better position on it, like
To get close.
yes, but not in the water.
Not in the water. Got it. It's out of the water at this point. Ooh, that is a 21 to hit. Uh, 6 points of damage. Give me a Constitution saving throw. You too.
Con save.
Constitution.
Con save.
That's on
19.
there.
All right. Everything's fine.
Nat 20.
Everything's fine. Last tentacle attack. It's another crit. Man, I love this dice. So yeah, we'll say it's against. We'll say it's against you, buddy.
Fucking come hard, bro.
Give me a con save.
Con save.
You take
That's a 9.
19. You take 19. No, you take 24 points of damage
God damn.
as this tentacle reaches out and slaps against you, and that is it. You feel this weird sensation as you just start slowing down a little bit. It's almost like how you were feeling this morning when you woke up. Like it's rough, man. Like you're feeling like a little sick or something. You don't know what's going on.
Oh wait, is slow still in effect?
Yeah.
It can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn if it's under slow.
I thought it doesn't get a bonus action.
On its turn, it can use either an action or a bonus action, not both, regardless of the creature's abilities or magical items. It can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn.
Interesting. Okay. You two are fine then. He still takes the crit.
Okay.
So put that damage back. You're not diseased. Cool.
The magical spirit of Moswald wanted to help us out a little bit.
Ha.
With the shifting
So we're
fate.
shifting fate.
In our favor.
Interesting. Okay. That was its turn. Duncan.
My boy.
Duncan will run forward, and as he does, he will gain a little help from his deity. Taking this attack at triple advantage.
Oh,
The last one being a nat 20. He's going to pump a couple of Divine Smite, level 2 Divine Smite into this.
Beautiful beefy boy.
Thank you.
Shout out to Bo to the rescue. Bo to the rescue.
Tip
The Warforged.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Oh, excited.
Yeah. Woof a doof. Okay. Thanks, Bo. Thank you, Moswald. Whoa. All right.
That's his thank you face.
You have control of your body.
Yes.
Yay, faculties.
Yep. Mandrake.
Yes. I am going to drink my hold for show. Potion of greater healing.
Okay. Are you still in the water at this point?
No, I took my head out of the water during my bonus action before his attack.
Okay.
3, 6, 9, 10 plus 4, 14.
Cool.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to do.
You'd use the bonus action to drink the potion.
Oh, that's my bonus action?
That's your bonus action.
Okay,
and then
so then I have a regular action.
You do have a regular
I will
action.
throw my head.
Okay.
With booming blade.
Okay.
So that did not go well. 6.
As part of the action, use cast spell against make a melee attack with a weapon against one creature.
We've used it before.
We have. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 6.
Cool.
Yeah, it missed.
Cool.
Roll
The hat goes flying towards, and as it does, I need you, Nyx, to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
Good. Came back. My hat came back.
Your hat came back the very next day.
Wisdom saving throw, that will be wisdom saving throw, 12.
Cool. Thank you. That was Mandrake. Day.
My turn?
Yep.
Cool. How far is this thing?
Yeah, it's out of the water now.
I
It's
can run
it's
up and
straight.
touch
It's
it?
staring at Nyx.
So I can run up and touch it?
You totally can.
I'm gonna try to run up and touch it, and I want to cast Bestow Curse.
Okay. Give me an attack roll.
It's a wisdom save. Or is it? Yeah. 14.
So do you want to run up and touch it? Is it a touch spell to activate this, or is it a ranged?
This says you touch a creature, and that creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. It's weird that you don't have to roll a 2 hit here for this, for Bestow Curse. But okay, what is the wisdom save here?
14.
Okay.
And I ask my friend Duncan to summon his deity for luck in my favor.
Duncan is all about lucked out at the moment, having just done a crit. So yeah, okay. You run up and touch this thing. As you do, I need you. You channel magic into it. Unfortunately, the magic looks for purchase in this thing, but doesn't quite take hold. I need you. No, you're actually fine. You're good. So you try. You're right up next to this thing, and you sort of touched it, and it doesn't really do anything.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
Day.
Scares me more.
Next, you drop the slow spell on the two of them,
Okay.
and you will go ahead and cast a fireball at the ceiling.
Me?
Yes. So go ahead and give me a fireball. You don't have fireball in your list of spells? What are some of the spells that you have?
Fighting wise, Ice Knife, Magic Missile,
Give me magic missile.
which level?
Level 2.
Second level Magic Missile, that'll be 4.
Yep.
What are you casting?
Magic missile at level 2.
12.
Cool. 12 points of damage to you. Anyway. Nyx, you're not feeling good, buddy. You take 9 points of damage as you get the sharp pain in your head, and you see some of the cuts on this creature in front of you start to heal back up again. Enwin.
I'm just gonna hit it again. That's a hate my spell.
Don't look at me like that.
31.
31 from the Witch Bolt. Did you make concentration checks when you took that? Is it a concentration spell?
It is a concentration spell.
And you took it when you got hit with the magic missile?
It was 12.
Okay. All right.
So,
Cool.
that's my rule.
Cool. And how are you up on the ceiling? These are with your cloak. Okay. Cool. Yep. Cool. All right. Good move there. Thoe, you have your faculties.
He is out of the water, correct?
He's on the surface of the water.
He's on the surface of the water. I'm gonna cast infestation at him.
Cool. What do you cast? What buggy are you casting?
Water bear.
Right, well,
Microscopic
like,
water bears? Microscopic water bugbears?
Yes.
Wait, I need one of those. I would like
you know
one.
what? You know what? We've got a spider thing going on. I'm covering him in little tiny arachnids.
Sure. The arachnids make their way towards the water.
No, because he's. Oh, they can't get to it.
Do they?
Okay.
Do they manifest on
Well,
you?
it says you cause a cloud of.
Yeah, that'll work
minus
then. Yeah, the
parasites
spiders start
forming
like
everywhere.
forming all over him. Is this
Okay.
a save or is this jamming?
He has a con save of 14.
Con save of 14. He makes it.
Okay, so he gets half damage, right?
Yeah, roll half
All right,
damage.
so it's going to be 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so it's half of 11.
Okay.
5 or so.
I'll say 6.
Um,
Because you're cute.
and oh yeah, he's not gonna move in a direction because he made the save. Never mind.
Okay. That is that. What does he want to do? He will. Who's been causing a lot? He's gonna make an attack against you because you're right up next to it, right? That is a 23. Yes?
You know, maybe. Sorta. Kinda.
13. No. Hang on. 18 points of damage as this thing sort of slams into you.
I just flipped my hit points.
Ooh, and now it's going to keep attacking. It can't get to you because you're up on the ceiling. But it can get to you, and you're causing some issues. Oh, wait. No, you stay there. We'll do this guy. Okay, 9 to hit.
No.
Or, no, 19 to hit, sorry.
Damn it.
Yeah.
It's much different.
13 points of damage. Give me a con save. 16 to hit, Thoe.
That hits me.
12 with my con.
You're not feeling good. 8. No, 13 points to you, Thoe.
Was that supposed to be a con save for me as well?
Con save for you as well now.
Okay. That. Oh yay. That is a. Sorry, 18.
Cool. And who's up next? No, Nyx is fine. 16 again.
No.
16 doesn't hit.
Yes, because I'm minus 2.
Nope.
No,
Slow got dropped.
Perfect. No.
Nope, you're good. Okay, cool. That is its turn. And it will use its movements to provoke an attack of opportunity from Day. And I think that's it. Just Day. And it will back up towards the back wall of the cave. Still on the surface of the water, but back up.
Yeah, if I'm getting that attack of opportunity, I mean...
Do it. Give me a melee attack.
A melee, okay, I'm gonna go in with that, and it's gonna be... Where's my... That's an 8.
Okay. No, that's not going to hit. So, cool. That is its turn. Duncan is just going to start striding in the water, like start swimming towards this thing as fast as he can. Like he jumps on the surface of the water and starts making his movement. Treatise, he starts moving towards it. Mandrake.
You said I'm not feeling good?
No, actually, you're okay. You just felt a little woozy for a second.
Okay. You're real worried there for a second.
Do me a favor. Write the number 9 at the top of a piece of paper.
Okay. I am going to, as hard as I can,
think about whatever Chris said.
What do you mean?
That I had some kind of advantage because of his role.
All right, give me an attack roll.
18.
18 total.
Attack. With my... Sorry. 18. 26.
26. Okay, and
25,
how are you
sorry,
doing? You're just
25.
throwing the hat?
Hat.
Okay. Yeah, that hits.
Okay.
As it flies across the water, slicing into this thing.
Okay, so D6 is 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Sorry.
You're okay. Roll damage here. It's not sneak attack because it's not.
Okay, so it's just the 1.
It's just the 1. Plus your dex.
3 plus 10.
Okay. 10 points of damage. It gets pissed. See if the hat comes back. That's Mandrake's turn.
Nat 20. It hits him again.
Okay.
Oh no, he's blinded until the next turn.
Okay, the hat sort of flies forward, and that is not good for him. Jeez. Okay. Attacks. All the attacks against him now are going to have advantage. Any attacks he takes are going to be at disadvantage. That was Mandrake. Chris, you're up.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm shifted. So do I still get my bonus actions or no?
Yeah, you have all your actions, all of your movement.
I want to do a long tooth strike.
It's used its movement to swim away from you in the water.
Because I have like the boots of striding and hoodoo or whatever, like
You're jumping as far as you can in the water.
can I not like land on, or is it too far away for me to land on?
Give me
It's
an acrobatics. No, give me athletics as you roll here to see if you can back up, jump, and land on this thing.
11.
11. Who did
I'll try.
Chris touch in the cave?
I grabbed
These two? Okay,
It was a
cool.
2 without 9.
Yeah,
Cool.
Chris touched
You
the 2
you
of
go
them.
you go to jump and you kind of trip a little bit and you land in the water. You're closer to it, but it's still like 10 feet away from you.
But I have my bonus action.
You have your bonus action and yeah,
Sweet. Then can I throw my glaive?
not as a bonus action.
Then can.
You're real close though.
Okay. Then just,
You could use your movement to get right up next to this
I
thing.
just
So
wanna
that
get close so I
cool.
can get to it.
That is your move. That was Mandrake. Day.
I am going to use Mantle of Majesty.
Okay.
At 6th level, you gain the ability to cloak yourself in a fey magic that makes others want to serve you.
Okay.
Okay, and then as my bonus action, I am going to cast Command. The creature has to make a Wisdom save. If I'm not mistaken. You speak one more command, so you range. The target must succeed on a Wisdom save. So
Succeed on a wisdom save. Okay. It fails its save.
I am going to use the word evaporate, and I mean it in the form of cease to exist.
Oh, okay. Your spells have power, and they have a sort of ability to influence people and creatures to do things. However, you do not have control over reality. Asking something to cease to exist is a level of magic of the which of like demigods and gods have at their ability to unmake something. But I say with that, you are able to cause this thing to question how it could evaporate. What is how do evaporate? And it will stop all of its movements for now and just sort of look confused
Okay,
while still
I'll
blinded.
accept this.
Yes. Okay.
It's a new power, guys. We just learned it.
No, this is I'm into it. I think it's great. Nyx, what other spells do you have at your disposal, buddy?
Cantrip wise, I have Great Bonfire, Frostbite, and Poison Spray.
Oh, perfect. Do you have Dispel Magic?
No.
No.
Oh, not Dispel Magic, no.
Do you have any Curing? Do you have any?
No.
Give me a. Okay. That's perfect. I need you. Do you have Fairy Fire?
No.
Give me Ice Knife towards the ceiling.
Ice Knife?
Yes.
Which level?
I'll do level 2 again.
Okay. So, 20.
11 total.
I rolled a 4,
Yep.
so 11 to hit.
Cool. So give me the dex save.
21.
Yep. Cool. You are all set. That is your move, Nyx,
Uh,
in your action.
does it hit him at all?
He made the dex save with the ice
Does
knife.
it, but the explosion, I think, is still take half damage.
Yeah. So
Half damage on. Okay.
roll the damage for the ice knife explosion. So you don't know why, but Nyx is
Target and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a dex saving throw or take 2d6 roll. It doesn't say anything about half damage, so I think it just escapes it.
cool. This thing is doing great. It's going to Nyx. You're gonna get another pain in your head. It hurts like a mother. You take 6 points of damage, and some of the cuts on this thing heal up. Nyx starts screaming out in pain, still looking at you guys really weird. Enwin.
How's it look?
It's hard to tell. I mean, it looks bloodied. It looks beat up.
Just gonna hit it again. It's
20?
20 points.
Okay. It's looking less good now. Cool. That is your turn, Thoe.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna do another little spider attacky thingy, because that's a cantrip.
Sure. What's the range on this?
It's 60, hang on. No, it's 30 feet. He's
Okay.
not, can I get within 30 feet of him?
Yeah, I will say if you use your movement, you can get to the edge of the water.
Okay, I'll use my movement.
Okay, good. You're at the edge of the water.
Dragged in the water, aren't I? Okay, con 14.
All right. Con of 14. It gets a 13.
Yeah, well that's 2d6 of damage, and,
Right.
okay, so that's 6 points of damage, and it also means that he is going to move 5 feet in a random direction if he can move.
Okay.
And that direction is, it's a d4. 3 east of wherever.
Okay, it starts swimming towards the wall a little bit.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. That is a good move. It is its turn. It's going to. You're next to it.
I'm on it.
You're on it. Okay.
Bring me love, sir.
20 to hit.
Hits, baby. Fucking bring pain.
13 points of damage. Give me a con saving throw. 8. Okay. 26 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. 17 points of damage.
Yeah.
14 to hit.
No.
Okay. That is its turn.
Son of a bitch.
How you looking?
22 of 50. So,
Cool.
looking like hot shit here in a second, though.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, its turn. Duncan will keep swimming forward. As Duncan swims forward, he will. He will stop. He will look over at the creature, look back at you, look back at the creature, and like reach a hand out to you and grab your shoulder as you heal for 15 points of healing. As he lays some hands on you. Yep. Cool. And that is his move, Mandrake.
How far away is he?
Pretty far at this point. He's been swimming towards the left wall. He's reaching the far range. I would say you haven't gotten in the water at all, right?
I'm standing just outside of the water.
50 feet.
50 feet. Okay, I'm going to throw my hat.
Okay. You get sneak attack with this.
Okay. So I roll again at advantage? Is that what that is?
No. What did you roll?
I rolled a 7.
No, you didn't. You rolled a 19.
19. Okay.
You see the version of yourself in a timeline where you threw the hat and it gets like this, and then all of a sudden there's a dice roll, and the hat shifts back this way and flies forward and hits this thing.
So I had 3d6 plus
Roll sneak
my
it.
1d6.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 4, which is 12, plus my dex, which would. That's my dex. Okay, that's it. 8 plus 4, so 12. And then I'm going to use Expedious Retreat and get against the wall.
Before you do that, how do you want to do this?
Oh god, man.
How do I want to get against the wall?
No, how do you want to kill it?
Oh, how do I want to kill it? Okay. I'm going to throw my hat, have it ricochet off the wall, hit it in the back of the head, and then come at it with my dagger and put it through its head. So it hits it in the back and in the front at the same time.
Perfect. Nyx, suddenly the spell on you drops as this hat sort of flies against the wall. The creature's following the hat with its eyes, and as the hat comes forward, the knife slice into the back of the head, cutting through the skull. As it screams out, Mandrake is already running forward and stabbing this thing in the head. As the two knives sort of touch points in the middle of this thing's head and then come out, the hat flies around and lands on his head. As that happens, there is a simultaneous shout as people start snapping out of whatever sort of thing they were under and run out of the cave. Like sort of making their way back up. They're not even paying attention to what you're doing. They're kind of stumbling in the dark. Duncan feverishly starts running forward towards the front and starts directing people. What are you guys all doing as these people are running out of the cave?
The first thing I'm going to do is take the blade of my dagger, scrape it into a vial so I have the fresh blood, and cork it.
Okay. You do that, and I would say it gives you just enough time to do that. What are you doing?
Is there anything in the room treasure-wise?
Cool. You move out and you start looking around the room. As soon as you slide some of the slime into the vial, as soon as you start investigating the room, you can't breathe. Both of you grab your throats, and you can't breathe. You can't breathe. You're drowning.
Is this us doing it to ourselves?
No.
Am I still under the effect of my breathing underwater potion?
No, you are not.
Potion of water breathing?
No.
Okay. It's 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in battle for an hour.
As you stop breathing, your skin becomes translucent and slimy. Both of your skins. And you start flopping a little bit. As soon as your head dips under the water, you can breathe again.
How close am I to Grim?
Grim is on the shore looking for treasure.
Can I see this happening to them?
Yep.
I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on him.
Okay, what level?
3rd level.
Give me a d20. Add your spellcasting modifier.
18 plus 6, that is a 24.
Who are you casting it at?
Him.
Who?
Mandrake.
Yeah, Mandrake.
Okay.
I already helped you earlier, I'm helping you now.
The spell takes hold, and it starts to move through him, and it doesn't have an effect.
Okay.
You know what? That was a high roll. You know what? It does. You're straining, and all of a sudden it grabs a hold. You're flopping on the shore. What's your con modifier?
+5.
Okay, you've got a couple minutes yet, but you watch as his skin turns translucent and shiny, and he starts flopping on the
Will
shore.
I notice that this sort of changes obviously alter my appearance, and I would need to.
Yeah. As you get close to the water, you can suddenly breathe again as you sort of submerge your body into the water.
So I've seen Sword in the Stone.
Yeah.
How big is he? Is he like full size? Like
Yeah,
this
he's full
size?
size.
I'm just a fish-ish.
I'm going to focus on what Chris said before again.
Okay.
I'm going to focus on that but like towards Grim.
Okay.
And I'm gonna grab onto the Cheshire pendant.
Give me percentile
Oh
dice.
god, here we go. You better roll like a mofo.
Not great. 40.
Percentile dice is 2. You roll the
Two.
the 2.
Oh,
Like one is
sorry.
the first number, the other one is the second.
Okay, so 40 and 4.
What do you say to Cheshire?
If history has shown us anything, he is also an agent of chaos. How much chaos can he cause underwater?
What do you give me for it?
1 favor.
2 favors.
2 favors, but I get to choose yes or no.
That's a tall fucking order, bro.
No. Let's watch them drown together.
2 favors and 5,000 gold. No.
Done. And sure enough, as you're sort of under the water, all of a sudden you feel like you can breathe air again, and you kind of come out of the water. And as you come out of the water, you get on the shore, and you guys like look, and Grim, it's weird. You're out of the water and you can breathe air, but you're kind of like still flopping around a little bit, and you are a full-grown mermaid. Like you've got like a mermaid tail, you got like a top, and you can breathe air, and you hear a voice in your head being like, "It's only gonna last an hour, but I had to have a little fun. Don't forget, you owe me. Now let's start thinking about how I'm gonna spend that 5,000 gold.
Oh my god.
I know all the things I want to buy. You're gonna look so pretty."
Merman.
You guys spend some time. Duncan comes over and sort of looks at you as people are come running out. People are making their way out of the cave.
So I'm half mermaid, half wolf.
Yeah.
This is fucking awesome.
I'm gonna go
By
pick
the
him
way.
up because he can't get out of this cave on his own. He's a mermaid, right?
Yep.
A third
But because I
He's a
can,
merman.
like
Awesome.
large, powerful build, I'm going to go pick him up. I'm going to go pick him up in a cradle hold, so we can carry the mermaid out.
Okay. Just because I can't
Somebody's
imagine
shifting fate.
There's a shift of fate.
Positive or negative?
That was a hard
Maybe a
damn
cool reward
fight. Maybe
or
a
something
cool
for a
reward.
party member or members.
We get something
Maybe.
cool, maybe.
maybe.
Who did that?
That was all.
Balderino.
Everybody gets an investigation check.
Okay.
You get it at disadvantage because you're a freaking mermaid.
No!
You're a
Mermaids are also
That's not
super.
20.
Damn it.
Yeah. No.
No.
Ah,
Sorry.
17.
21.
I got a 20, but not net.
20.
What is it plus your modifier?
Well, that is just a flat.
No.
20. It's a nat 20, but it's also a flat 20.
Are you 21 as well?
20.
20, 21.
20, not net.
I think 7.
You start walking on the ceiling.
Okay, I'm not coming down.
Yeah, you start walking on the ceiling and you're sort of looking around. You guys spend some time looking around the cave. It's harder for you because you can't see, but Duncan sort of helps. As Duncan's sort of looking around the area, you get to another like portion of the wall where harken back to Indiana Jones, Last Crusade. Like, you know the optical illusion of the stone where it kind of looks like one section? You spot it easily because it wasn't meant for somebody to be looking down at it, but you see a small alcove. You go, hey, like, you manage to spot it, and the two of you walk into this little alcove in the back of this cave area. As you do, you start hearing sounds. You're hearing people, you're hearing the commotion, you're hearing metal on metal, you're hearing strange music, and a large portal is open in front of the two of you. It's a swirling sort of energy. Looks like it's up against the wall. There's also a chest in this room.
Through the portal or us? Not in the portal?
No, just in this room. There's a small bed and a small chest. Off on the right-hand side, there's a large portal open in the room.
Can we see through the portal?
You can.
What do we see?
I'm going to try to describe stuff for you, and you guys will have to put it together. You see people walking in strange matter of dress. You see wagons that don't have a cart, like nothing pulling them, that seem to be moving independently of their own. You see buildings larger than any other building that you've ever seen before in your entire life. You see people wearing similar clothing to what Duncan was wearing. And as Duncan comes around the corner, Duncan starts casting a spell, and the portal starts shrinking down.
Where does this go?
Not here.
Well, then where to?
He goes over to a chest, the chest in the room, and he opens it. As he does, he starts pulling out a bag. It looks like a haversack, but it's a darker material. It's got weird pockets all over it. He picks up the haversack and he goes to put it on.
If you don't mind, I'd like to take that from you.
And he puts the haversack down on the ground. The world is big. The world is very big. And it's getting bigger. Wonder is not the only place where things are starting to wake up that shouldn't wake up. The Indigos look out for it. We go where we're needed, and it's our responsibility. In our culture, the chameleon, and he taps where his heart is, and you see this purple pulsating image. He goes, in our culture, there's a civilization that believed the chameleon was the guardian between the world of dreams and the world of awake. My order believes this. Somebody here woke something up. And it's sending ripples in the pond. And the ripples are getting bigger and bigger.
How can we help?
Just keep doing what you're doing.
In that case, what I'm doing is grabbing that bag.
He gives you the bag. And he nods. And he nods at you. And he walks out of the room.
Before you
No,
leave,
don't, no.
These two, like, would you follow them at this point?
can I catch him before he leaves? Or no?
Yeah, you guys are at the door hearing all of this as he explains it then.
Can I catch him before he leaves?
Yeah.
I want to know more about the Indigos and everything.
Close your eyes. Keep them closed. Look at me. And you,
Evan walks up the wall and starts walking back across the ceiling.
he's out. You see that pulsing again? Give me an investigation check.
21.
I'm there. Can I roll too?
You gonna close your eyes?
No, I don't want to go.
Are you gonna close your eyes?
I'm gonna
Are we
my
all there?
eyes.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought they went to another room. I'm sorry.
Before
they are in
she-
another room, but she said she specifically would follow.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Before she does, she says something in celestial, and I'm gonna send it to you. Okay. And then I'm gonna roll. Nat 20.
Once you do this, you're not fully you. You're more. So you two decide. If you do this, you are not forever fully you.
Do you mean I give myself up, or
That's all I can say. Day?
I need something to believe in.
You close your eyes. Nyx?
I'm in.
There is a moment where you two are staring at this thing, this sort of purple pulsing thing, where his heart is. And as you swivel around the room, you've left.
Yeah,
everybody
I'm
else, you already have somebody. And this thing, boom, 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 and it moves off the chest, boom, boom, and it skitters on the floor, boom, 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 and sort of crawls up to your chest, boom, boom, and then it leaves Nyx and crawls up to your chest, boom, 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 and as you look down, you each have one, boom, boom, boom.
Sure.
A little tiny, minute lizard pulsing with the beat of your heart. Boom, boom, boom. And as this thing pulses, you can see the portal. You don't just see that one. You see the 12 others in the room. Or where they used to be. On the walls, on the floor, all around this room. And he claps his hands, and as he does, you guys both sort of open your eyes. And he goes, all right. Welcome to Indigo. You got work to do. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We had a couple of close calls. We've got a haversack that we are going to have you look at. Actually, give me an investigation roll before you... I don't know what the hell this thing is.
That's 4.
But
That's mine.
but it does say the word all sport on it.
Okay, good.
We have a brand new group that's been introduced, the Indigo group. That's all you know so far, that they are the guardians between the world of dreams and awake, and they have something to do with portals. We've got 2 brand new recruits to Indigo. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Thursday. More to be had, more adventures, and we'll pick up right where we left off with another exciting, fun shopping episode. You guys got gold to burn, and we've also got some favors that we have to play with. So thank you for that wonderful gift, and thank you, Moswald, for fucking up my game. And once again, introducing something that was perfect to be introduced. You're the best, buddy. We love you guys. We'll see you soon. And as always, find people that share your passions. Indigo Connect. We'll see you soon.